Welcome to Thieves' Cant, a tabletop gaming podcast, with your hosts, Jeremy Shane and Chris White.
Welcome in, or welcome back. It is Thieves' Cant, Saturday, July 5th. Brand new month already. I'm Jeremy Shane.
And I'm Chris White.
How are you, Chris?
I'm doing great.
Hey, quick check. All 10 fingers there, all 10 toes still intact?
Yeah, I do have a burn. I got a pretty good one. I don't look like Freddy Krueger, but...
Yeah. Here in America, we just celebrated our Independence Day. And we like things that go boom. We like big boom in the sky.
Many big boom.
Big boom. And, well, I'm glad to see your digits survived.
Yeah, I made it. So
Didn't burn down the neighborhood either?
Well, there were some efforts, but fortunately, none of them paid off. So.
Hey, thank you again for listening. Thanks for following on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can find us on social at Thieves Cant Cast, on YouTube at Thieves Cant Podcast. And if you'd like to drop an email, do so, thievescantcast@gmail.com. Coming up in today's show, the nominees have been announced for next month's ENnie Awards. D&D Dragon Delves is now on store shelves, and in our crowdfunding spotlight, we take a look at the perfect tool to infuse a little criminal intrigue into your RPG. And in our main topic, we take a closer look at those Arcane Subclasses recently released in Unearthed Arcana. But first, the Thieves' Cant question of the week. Chris, this week, since we are diving into those Arcane Subclasses, if you could design a new arcane archetype for any RPG, D&D or otherwise, is there a magical concept that you would like to see in play?
You know, that is a really good question, and I think if I spend enough time pondering, I could think about it. How about I'm going to pick an anti-arcane archetype?
I like it. What do you got?
I want a spellless bard. I want a bard with no spells and all the power of love. Yeah, you know, I mean, it really a character that is motivates and encourages and strengthens their party, buffs and debuffs all through doing what they do.
Yeah,
jamming out to the soundtrack of the game.
A true bard.
Yeah, a true bard.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I don't want another spellcaster. You know, I want some magic weaved through whatever. Through poetry.
He's so good, so eloquent, and so musically talented, you think he's magic.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like all right.
Yeah.
I would like to see, and this could be out there somewhere in some system, I've just never encountered it myself, but I would like to see some sort of arcane subclass, if you will, that deals with the manipulation of time.
Oh, like a chronomancer. Like that used to be a thing.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I like the idea of maybe being able to slow time down, reverse something, back something up.
Oh.
I think there's some...
Okay. All right.
like a dump truck,
huh?
Right? But, being able to manipulate time, you got to tread carefully so as not to break the game, I think.
Yeah.
But if you could do something fun within the mechanics, I think that could be cool.
Yeah, I agree. So that's a good idea.
The Chronomancer, I need to track that down.
2E thing, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been anything since then. I could be wrong, but yeah.
Thanks for the enlightenment.
Yeah.
All right, with that, let's jump into the headlines. Well, the ENnie Awards nominees have been announced. The ENnie Awards are happening August 1st at Gen Con. We are not going to touch on every category or every nominee, but we'll just kind of skim the surface here. Product of the year, of course, the top tier releases of the year, showcasing the best in tabletop RPGs. Your nominees are Doomsong from Caesar Inc., Land of Eam Deluxe Box Set from Exalted Funeral, Memento Mori Deathless Edition from Two Little Mice. How about this one? Monty Python's co-curricular medieval reenactment program, the Sensible Middle Class Edition, also from Exalted Funeral. Mythic Bastion Land, from Bastionland Press, Revolt from Jason Price, The Last Caravan from MythWorks, The One Ring, Moria, Through the Doors of Durin from Free League, also Triangle Agency from Haunted Table, and here's our old friend Yazaba's Bed and Breakfast from Possum Creek Games, which just won Product of the Year from in the Origins Awards, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so we'll see if it can repeat here. Reading these lists, we've made this comment before anytime we see these awards lists. It reminds me of how many games I've completely missed.
Right.
That I might never have heard of. So while these lists are great for the people involved who were nominated, they're great for us as well to get a reminder of some things that maybe we need to take a closer look at.
Yeah.
Best game. Innovative core RPGs with standout mechanics. I'll try to get through these pretty quickly. Nominees are His Majesty the Worm, Last Train to Bremen, again, that Monty Python co-curricular medieval reenactment program, The Last Caravan, and Triangle Agency. So some repeats there from the Product of the Year into Best Game. Mm-hmm. Best Setting. Love a good setting.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Call of Cthulhu Ireland from Chaosium. You've got Doomsong from Caesar Inc., RuneQuest, Lands of RuneQuest from Chaosium, Settlers of a Dead God from Exalted Funeral, and The Painted Wastelands from Agamemnon Press. And the last category we'll take a look at, Judges Spotlight. Punk is Dead, Letters from the Dark, Volume 3, Let Us Build a Tower, Darkenhaven, and Heroes of Cerulean.
Nice.
In the Judges Spotlight. Other categories, of course, that we didn't touch upon, and there's a ton. Best art on the cover, best art in the interior, cartography, production values, best rules, best writing, best supplement. So we'll know who wins all of these awards, again, after August 1st. So we'll have an update in about a month.
Yeah.
Dragon Delves, officially released by D&D. You can find that on the shelves of your favorite local game store. 10 adventures, 3 of which are intended to be run, they say solo, which for a lot of people means playing completely alone. What they actually mean is playing one GM, one player.
Right.
And, of course, with this, we get more insight into what the solo rules for those 3 particular adventures look like. We've talked about this on a previous show, the idea that your solo hero gets inspiration. But now we also know that they get temporary hit points up to a certain amount. So, in other words, to make your solo character capable, WotC says, give them inspiration after every rest, and anytime the DM has them roll initiative, they get inspiration as well. They call it heroic inspiration. So you can essentially look at that as every encounter, this character is going to get a chance to re-roll the die.
So they're saying with that, like, you can calibrate an adventure as if it was a full party?
Well, that's the interesting part, because they also say that these adventures are not so combat heavy.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
So you get your heroic inspiration, and then with the temporary hit points, it's 10 times your level.
Right.
So anytime you get a level, you're going to take your level times 10. And that's your temporary hit points. Right. So what do you think? Does this make a single character capable of journeying through an adventure?
Well, again, it just depends on the adventure design.
Sure.
I mean, you could make no adjustments at all, and if the encounters are scaled correctly, then it would be fine.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know. I would be interested to see this, really, just to see how they implement the solo adventure and how it works out.
I think these solo rules need a little work.
Yeah.
If I'm playing D&D, I'm thinking combat, right?
Yeah.
And yes, you can do other things, but
yeah.
A big percentage of those rules devoted to combat.
Yeah.
So I think if you want to make a character, a single character, a little more capable, the temporary hit points are fine, but they're still going to be outpaced and outclassed when it comes to actions.
I'll tell you what.
It all comes down to action economy.
You're exactly right. But we are going to have a drinking game accompanying this session, and it's going to be anytime somebody says temporary hit points, you have to take a drink. But there's a limit because someone will die today. So hopefully that won't happen because we don't want anybody to drink themselves to death. But
is that a little
drink water?
Is that a preview into our main topic discussion on those arcane subclasses?
Gosh, we are beating a dead horse. Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So
I think you're right, though. I agree with your assessment.
Give that single character more actions.
Mm-hmm.
Let them do more on their turn.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to balance things out a little better than letting them re-roll a D20 once an encounter.
Right.
But there it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's Dragon Delves. And that's our headlines. Let's head on over to crowdfunding. All right, since we are Thieves' Cant, I could not resist the opportunity to spotlight Order of Criminals, now on Kickstarter from Black Cube Games with 22 days left to go. 100 unique criminal organizations from notorious thieves guilds to bloodthirsty smuggler gangs. Each organization has been meticulously crafted to enrich your campaigns with secrets, lore, and villainous plots. Each one has its own backstory, motivations, dark history, ready to breathe life into any adventure. I like it. So each organization kind of gets 8 pages of details, what their goals are, maybe what their secret goals are, what their true goals are.
Mm-hmm.
You get an item with every organization. By the way, this is specific to 5e. They market it as a 5e product, and certainly the stat blocks that they give you for certain characters, the stats for the items, those are going to be 5e purposed.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think you can get utility out of this for any fantasy RPG that you want to include a criminal organization into.
Right.
You get their full crime history. Of course, their notorious leader. This is available in PDF only, but there are multiple pledge levels starting at €9, right around $11 US.
Yeah.
That's the base one. But if you would like to be credited in the book, even credited as a proofreader, or maybe have a character created in the book, you can pledge at a higher level. But again, $11 gets you in the door, PDF only.
Nice. Well, that's kind of cool. You can be immortalized in print.
Right.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Maybe we should form our own criminal organization and try to make it into the book.
Yeah, because we definitely haven't done that already. That definitely hasn't happened.
Again, Order of Criminals from Black Cube Games. You'll find that on Kickstarter. And with that, we are on to our main segment. All right, today, Chris is going to lead us on a journey, an exploration, if you will, a closer look at the newest Arcane subclasses and revised subclasses released in Unearthed Arcana. Chris he's our go-to when it comes to mechanical crunch here on Thieves' Cant. Yeah, I don't think he likes this description. It's true, though.
Is that what I am?
No, it's true. It's true.
We're in trouble.
It's true. Like if discussing mechanics were like a rap battle,
mm-hmm.
I mean, you would be the king of rap battles.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. You would
that's
be
high praise.
We need a rap battle bard.
Oh, see,
right.
You don't want him casting magic missile. You want him throwing down with some, I don't know what the kids say, throwing around some Riz, right? Like
dropping bangers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am 100% sure the kids do not say that.
Well,
but they should.
They should. They
right.
should think about it. So we got 9 subclasses. So that's going to affect the cleric, fighter, warlock, 4 for wizard, and a monk subclass. So I guess we'll just kind of go at them in the order as they're presented in the text.
Sure.
Right now, 2 points I'd like to make. 1, I'm just providing my opinion and a brief overview. 2, I have not play tested any of this material whatsoever. So all I could do is just read through it and see what my first impressions
were. So this is reaction.
Yeah. And I have looked at a little feedback from folks in the community just to see if I'm off base. And I think for the most part, I mean, there's definitely some minor disagreements about technical details, but I think a lot of the same sentiment I heard from other people. So, yeah, we'll just kind of go through them, and we're not necessarily going to break down every feature, but maybe some points of interest in each one.
Yeah.
If that sounds good.
That sounds great.
That's what you're getting. So I hope you like it. Starting off, the Arcana Domain Cleric. Of course, this is, we had a 2014 version of the Arcana Domain. I think the Arcana Domain and the Knowledge Domain really step on each other's toes quite
Overlap.
a bit, as one might expect. That still seems to be the case. It seems like they're still that way in this regard. The domain spells on this one, really good list. If you think about, like, with a sorcerer, you had the subclass that allowed you to cast clerical spells, Divine Soul. So this is kind of the reverse idea. So you have basically a cleric that's very wizardy and is going to bring in a lot of wizard elements. And so that's really where those domain spells come from. So they're mostly wizard spells, which is obviously very useful because the wizard spell list is a lot more versatile than the clerics.
It does flavor the clerik a different way, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, in even more ways that we'll see later on. But I know one of their channel divinities was when you cast a spell, it's called Tenacious Spell, and somebody has to make a saving throw, you can choose to roll a d6 and apply that numbered as a penalty to the target saving throw, which is really good. I mean, you could have up to a -6 on their save for whatever spell you're casting.
Yeah.
Yes, please. That sounds pretty good.
Reverse inspiration.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the same idea. So, yeah, in that regard, I mean, pretty good. I think that's the one you would use more often because the other one, you're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe what it does. It grants temporary hit points.
Drink.
Yeah. Again, that's going to be a theme throughout. Their level 6 ability was fine. I didn't see anything big there. It doesn't seem like it would come up that often. But the level 17, Arcane Mastery, you learn 4 wizard spells, 1 from each of levels 6, 7, 8, and 9. You thereafter have these spells prepared. Whenever you gain a cleric level, you can replace one of these spells with another wizard spell of the same level. So that ability to, replace the spells with each level, this is potent. Like, this is this is a really powerful expansion of the cleric spell list. And really, if I had a problem with anything in the class, it's that this is a lot. So, it's very reminiscent, I believe, to what they had in 2014. I think they were probably a little scared to change it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, Wish. You're a cleric with Wish. I mean, that in itself speaks volumes. But, I mean, think about 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th level spells that you have access to. It's a lot.
And you can change them out, yeah.
And I think when you compare it to, like Player's Handbook clerics, what they're getting at level 17, wow. Like, the swings in this Unearthed Arcana were kind of alarming, I thought. Like, it's like, were we even in the ballpark of what has been? I mean, it's a little scary. So, yeah, I feel like the Arcane Mastery it's a lot. So the next one up is the Arcane Archer, which is, of course, a remake. We had the Arcane Archer in the 2014 edition. It's a fighter subclass. Arcane Archer is pretty boring. It's just, it's not a very exciting subclass. My son is actually playing in a game, his first full campaign that he's playing in, and he's playing an Arcane Archer. He loves him. Great, but it's a little bit dull. I thought this really kept that flavor, as far as it's a very similar idea in that it's this idea that you have a limited number of shots, that you're basically an archer, but you have this limited number of shots that you can apply a special spell effect to. And so it basically keeps that. And what it did was it took it and it made it better. So it's scaling more.
It's a better dull.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. If it wasn't for temporary hit points, dull would probably be the word.
All right.
that would have you drinking. So, but I mean, that's basically what it is. The damage increases with those shots. as you level up.
Yeah.
So you're just basically a better arcane archer. So I would definitely say it's an upgrade. It could be a lot of fun.
Would a more diplomatic descriptor for this subclass be simple rather than dull?
Yeah,
straightforward.
I would say, it's sort of in the same way that it's like a champion fighter, right? You can have you can have a lot of fun with a champion fighter, but it's not for everybody. It's just not overflow. Well, there is flavor.
Yeah.
But it's
but the idea is you've got a thing, you do that thing.
You're going to do that thing a lot.
Yeah.
You're going to do that thing over and over. And there's like 6 or 7 different options of what you can assign that magical ability to be, whatever it is that goes on. And you can use it a little more often. So because before it's like 2 times per short rest.
Yeah.
And I think now it's a little more. I think it's based off your ability. But whatever the case, it's just fun stuff. They have a curving shot thing they can do now. So
that's
more
cool.
fun, and I would say more effective than the 2014 version. So that's a win. I think it's a win. So next up, we have the Tattooed Warrior. This is a monk subclass. Now, I'm going to say from the get-go, this is one of those weird instances where it's like I read this and it did not interest me at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, I couldn't possibly care less. And the more I read it, the more I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. Like this idea of this monk that has these tattoos that cause magical effects, but sometimes they're changing. And there's stuff going on, and it almost tells this story of, that they're wearing, so pretty cool flavor. When you get into the practicality of it, I'm going to be 100% honest, not that impressive. Like this one, way underwhelming. Just not a lot of power. Like, they get beast tattoos at level 3, but it's really minor effects, and it's things that I don't know a monk would always want to do. It's like, man, it's really cool that you get Misty Step. But if there's any class that's more mobile and slippery than a monk, I don't know what it is.
Right. So is it, what is Misty Step actually doing for the monk?
Right.
Okay. That makes sense.
It is just, I don't know. It's little things. Again, like here's one. If you get this horse tattoo, right, the message cantrip, and you can expend 1 focus point to cast Longstrider without magical components. Cool. Why would I want to cast Longstrider? My movement's already 600. You know what I mean? Like,
right, yeah.
It's just, it seems like it does.
Can that be cast on someone else?
I don't think so.
I mean, flavor-wise, that wouldn't make sense.
I think these things only affect you.
Yeah, flavor-wise, that's the only thing that does make sense.
Yeah, they affect you.
Okay.
So, I don't know. And as it goes on, there's just not a lot there. So I felt like this needs a big mechanical boost.
Yeah.
But man, I would like to see them do it, because the more I read it, the more the flavor was really cool.
Yeah.
It was like you have these it's like you have these, your body's telling these stories. And they say also it could be like scars on your body. It doesn't even have to
cool,
just be tattoos.
different interpretation. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty neat, a pretty neat idea.
All right. So flavor's good. Mechanical execution could use some work.
Yeah. That was sort of my takeaway from it. Next up, we have the polar opposite, which is Ancestral Sorcery. So Ancestral Sorcery is like literally just like, hey, somebody from my bloodline cast a lot of spells, and that's it. So that's you, right? So this is
every few generations.
Yeah,
somebody.
Bixby was my uncle. Tasha was my great aunt. I mean, it's basically you have great grandpa ran around in a gray hat and robes, whatever. But so that's the flavor, which is fine. It's just, it is kind of generic, right? You know what I mean? And they don't lean into it that much. But I'm going to tell you right now, this thing has got to be toned down, because it is nuts. I mean, when you compare this to Tattooed Warrior, like, I don't know how they develop things in-house. I have no idea. But it cannot be the same people. And they must never talk to each other. Because, I mean, when we start going through the ancestral sorcery, you're going to be like, oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Like, you can just see how things start to pile up. So the ancestral spells, these are pretty significant what surprised me the most was if I asked you, hey, you're a cleric, what spells are you guaranteed to cast? I mean, probably that there's some spells that are just sort of a short list, right? Like, how about Spiritual Weapon? Think you're going to cast that? How about as a sorcerer? Would you like to have that as a sorcerer? How about Spirit Guardians? Oh, my gosh. Yes. Like, Spirit Guardians is on their list. So, like, they're getting some pretty potent, they're getting the best cherry-picked off the cleric list on their spell list. Fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
And this is the ancestral.
This is the ancestral.
Sorcery, sorcerer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess Bigby's showing up and smacking fools around.
Right.
You know, while.
Okay, so that's the Spirit Guardian is the manifestation of your. It could be if you wanted to treat it that way.
You have that spell. Yeah,
Right.
It is what it is. I don't know. I mean, it's again.
So is it the spell list that you think that unbalances this subclass?
We're just starting.
Well, because I do want to say, you say, if you compare this to the tattooed warrior,
Mm-hmm.
that, one clearly outshines the other. But to be fair, you can't really compare those two subclasses without taking a look at the classes themselves. We're talking about a monk versus a sorcerer here, right? So does the class of monk itself make up for the overpowering, perhaps, of this sorcerer subclass?
I mean, I definitely think you can't compare apples to oranges there, right? I mean, you are talking about a monk versus sorcerer. But I think as we go on, you'll see there's more.
All right. When it comes down to just features.
When you're just looking at like raw power level, I think just like it's kind of crazy. So level 6, we automatically have counterspell and dispel magic prepared at all times. Two pretty potent choices.
Absolutely.
Right. If you have your innate sorcery feature, which is part of the sorcerer class, active, you can cast each spell without expending a spell slot. If you cast counterspell in this way, the target has disadvantage on its Constitution saving throw. If you cast Dispel Magic in this way, you have advantage on your ability checks to end ongoing spells. Once you cast either spell without a spell slot, you must finish a long rest before you can do it again. So you're getting Dispel Magic and Counterspell with some pretty significant riders.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, the saving throw that it affects is like the saving throw you want to affect, right?
Right.
Constitution is what every creature in the monster manual is riding high on, right? And so now you can knock that down. So that's pretty good. Level 14. Your deep connection with your ancestors steadies you. Taking damage cannot break your concentration on sorcerer spells.
Wow.
So you're good, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, there are obviously other ways to lose concentration, like being knocked unconscious or stunned or something like that. But, yeah, just taking damage, not a problem. Don't worry about that Warcaster feat.
Right.
You don't need that anymore. So, pretty good. And then, of course, when we get to level 18, we have the Ancestor's Ward. It says your Ancestor's Protection redirects harmful magic away from you. While your innate sorcery feature is active, you gain advantage on saving throws against spells. Once during your use of innate sorcery, when you fail a saving throw against a spell, you can choose to succeed instead. So, it's a pretty potent list, I think. Whereas with the Tattooed Monk, I felt like everything that they did, another monk could do better. With this one, I feel like they've got a leg up on just about every sorcerer subclass.
Okay. So if this were official, you think that this would become the most popular sorcerer subclass?
I would probably take it, except, again, there's not a lot of flavor to it. It's just your ancestor, which is every subclass, or every, for a sorcerer, right? I mean, every one of them is based off your ancestry. There was a dragon in the bloodline, or there was, whatever it may be. So it's all based off that. So the flavor, not so much, but I mean, it could be cool.
It might be more dependent on the player to kind of color that in and make that background interesting.
Yeah, the flavor doesn't kill me here, but it's like, this is a really good subclass. So I would say it's definitely the most powerful subclass in the Unearthed Arcana. Moving on from that, rant over. Now we have to talk about the Hexblade. Everybody loved Hexblade in 2014. It was the best one-level dip you could take because it got you basically the ability to use charisma for attack and damage with weapons, melee weapons. And it also got you, I think, medium armor. The last attempt they did in a previous Unearthed Arcana, I think it was really dependent on the hex spell, which isn't great in the long run. It's fine at low levels, but they must have got a lot of feedback that was not positive about that one. And so, and I should explain further. The reason that the 2014 Hexblade doesn't work is because sorcerers have been given the ability to basically do that with Pact of the Blade now. And so they can get that charisma modifier to hit and to damage. And they can also, as they level up, they can gain ability to gain a second and a third attack, just like a fighter. So warlocks can become really pretty effective melee combatants if built right. And so the Hexblade's previous use is gone. And so they have to find a new way to work that. And like I said, their previous attempts have not been the best. This one is, to me, a really kind of a mixed bag. The Hexblade spells were good. Their spell list was really nice. I liked that. The Hexblade curse itself is kind of a mess as far as I personally had a really hard time understanding it. Clearly, they wanted to stay away from that, some of that language, so it's like if you curse an enemy, but it doesn't define how that happens. So I know the hex spell curses an enemy. What other spells curse an enemy? I don't know what that means exactly.
Right.
So I found that very confusing as far as how it affects, if I move my hex or if that target is killed. Normally I can move that effect, but now I can't. So
you just lose it.
Well, I think I
gone.
lose the Hexblade curse portion. I can't. It doesn't really specify if it follows that or not. So it's like you cast a spell initially and get the effect, but I don't know that it carries over to the next target. So it was really confusing. And what's bad about it is it kind of still is trying to build on this Hexblade's curse, so it's kind of critical. So this needs to be cleaned up more. It's just not clear, and it's not precise language, and it's really important to what it seems like they're trying to do.
So it sounds like even just going rules as written, not comparing it to other sources, just based on this text, it's not clear.
It's not clear to me, and maybe I'm a dummy, or maybe I'm sometimes we can read
that
things.
Is certainly a possibility.
Well, right, thanks, and I appreciate that encouragement. That's why I'm here. But it was confusing to me, and they have some other benefits. Now there was one thing I really liked, a lot of the other facts in this I thought were really cool. And it definitely pushes you towards melee. Melee. I'm trying to say melee now.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's like a big life change for me. So bear with me, but I'm melee. I think that's the right way. Unyielding will. When you succeed on a saving throw to maintain concentration, concentrating on a spell.
Got it. You succeed on your
make a saving throw, yeah. Each creature of your choice in a 10-foot emanation originating from you takes 2d6 necrotic damage.
Whew.
Once you use this benefit, you can't do so again until the start of your next turn.
Did you say 2d6?
2d6 necrotic
At the start of your next turn.
Right. So think about this, bro. You're running into combat. Somebody whacks you. You make your con save, and you fart in a 10-foot radius, 2d6 necrotic. And you can keep doing it. It doesn't scale, but it's just free.
Right.
This doesn't require a reaction. Doesn't require
it just happens.
I dig it, man. I really like it because it's just this is one more benefit to running into combat. Now,
this guy's got to stay away from his party members. They can't be.
No. It says
each creature
of your choice.
In a 10-foot. God, yeah, I missed that phrase.
So not only are you farting out this 10-foot effect, but you could choose to spare your friends. Now, I would never. I would absolutely not do that. But, you could, that's pretty neat.
Okay, that's awesome.
And it's all the time. Yeah, this is going to happen. And now it's like, I kind of want to have a concentration spell up which I did anyway.
Right,
but,
right. You're incentivized
yeah.
to, right?
So
what's the name of that feature again?
That's Unending Will.
Unending Will. I like that.
And there's really more to it. It says when you fail a saving throw to maintain concentration, you can choose to succeed instead, and you gain a number of temporary hit points.
Yeah.
Temporary hit points equal to 1d10 plus your warlock level.
And so because that turns into a success, then you fart.
Yeah. Do you get the fart? I don't know. I don't know if you get
if it becomes a success.
Well,
if you succeed on a saving throw.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You chose to. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so that's even better. And then, now that's once per long rest.
Okay.
Right, that you can do that. But little bonus. So, yeah, I think there's some pretty cool stuff there. But then they have another feature at level. That's at level 3. That's at level 3.
So Unending Will is level 3.
Yeah.
As soon as you take the subclass, you get it.
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
And level 6 is Malign Brutality. I thought this looked really neat. You gain the following benefits. Harrowing Hex, after you cast a level 1+ spell that has a casting time of an action, you can make one attack with a weapon as a bonus attack. Cool. Again, I want to be a melee. Melee. I want to be in melee. Wow. It just encourages it. Hindering Curse. When you hit a target cursed by your Hexblade's curse with an attack roll, the target has disadvantage on their next saving throw. So, I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Again, it's stacking on to that feature, which I do like when subclasses stack on like that.
Right.
Again,
it's like, you unlock another layer of that feature.
I thought this one was kind of cool. It's inescapable hex. When the target of your Hexblade curse ends its turn 30 feet or further from you, you can move up to your speed straight toward the target.
Yeah.
It's not a reaction.
Oh, man.
It's not a bonus action. You just do. It's just like some ring stuff. Like, you're just there. Yeah.
Right.
Really cool.
You got this enemy on lock. Like, they are not getting away.
Yeah.
That's got some 4E Avenger flavor to it.
Yeah. And they have some more defensive stuff that comes in later. And yeah, again, I thought the class sounded really fun, but two things I noticed, like, give them medium armor. They don't have that in this. I don't know what the problem is.
If they're going to be in close combat.
Because, I mean, you need that if you're going to be in melee.
Yeah.
And what they give you is not adequate.
Right. As a player, you read this and you think about all the damage I am going to do.
Right.
And you don't think about, well, you're going to be taking some shots.
So I'd like to see them get medium armor proficiency, and I'd love to see that the Hexblade Curse just cleaned up a little. Again, maybe I'm dense, but I think these things should be written for dense people to be able to understand that. So
I concur.
Maybe I'm the standard by which you should measure. Okay, now, so the last 4 subclasses are wizard subclasses. And these are the ones that we're missing from the player's handbook. We're looking at the Conjurer, the Enchanter, the Necromancer, and the Transmuter. I kind of feel like...
Now, before you start in... I want to revisit the fact that you've been playing more wizards than you would have liked to recently, and you have developed a bit of a distaste for the class in general.
Well, yeah.
Don't let me speak for you.
I don't dislike wizards, but I'm tired of playing wizards. I think that would be a fair statement. I've had a belly full of wizard, but as far as these subclasses go. Again, and by the way, a diviner is what I play most recently, so that's more my bread and butter. So I don't have tremendous familiarity with some of these subclasses. Conjurer, I thought this one was fine. With all 4 of these, they're just like really boring, and so it's really just a kind of a measure of, well, I mean, how much does it make you feel like what you signed up for? Like, Conjurer is really focused on, they have this ability called Benign Transposition, which is teleportation, basically. You can teleport, you can switch places with an ally. They build on that a lot. I think all of them have the Savant ability for their particular school, which just basically means you get some extra spells for your spell book. So, they have some things that affect their summons a little. So I thought this all stayed fairly close to to the mark. For example, you can give your summons temporary hit points.
Of course,
they're the only ones in the party that didn't have them at this point. So now you could make sure they do. So yeah, it's
like insurance for the thing that you summoned.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to lose it already.
Right. No, and which is fine. I mean, that's a buff, and it's good. Not very exciting, but I thought the Conjurer was fine. I mean, I thought it was okay. I don't think there were a tremendous number of changes with this one and the 2014. Some, but not a tremendous amount. So, Enchanter, the biggest thing is they lost their hypnotic gaze, and it was replaced with some other stuff. I don't know that how happy people will be about that.
Yeah.
I think it was a pretty good ability, especially at lower levels. Like, it was just kind of a at will charm attempt you could make. So yeah, this one is, I mean, it's pretty bland in truth, but I think of all of them, like, I probably thought the Enchanter was the most powerful, but again, it wouldn't be my thing. So I'm not going to get too much into that. If you're interested in being an Enchanter, great. If you're interested in being a wizard, especially in this edition, like, Illusionist looks really good.
Yeah.
So crack open the player's handbook and take a look at that. That looks fun.
So these wizard subclasses, for you, not going to replace any of the go-tos that we've already got.
Again, it's what you want. I'm just afraid they don't deliver on what you want.
Nah.
Like, none of them, like Necromancer, for example, has a lot of defensive abilities, but it's like, I want to be a Necromancer. So
right.
I want to rule an army of undead, and I don't feel like you got that.
What's the capstone for Necromancer, just out of curiosity?
Death's Master.
Okay. Well, that sounds like you have an army of undead, right?
That sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah. So you get 2 effects out of this. You get Bolster Undead. So as a bonus to action, choose any number of undead you've created and summon with a necromancy spell. They're within 60 feet of you. Those undead each gain temporary hit points equal to your wizard level. I mean, they're beating this to death. They really are. Once an undead gains temporary hit points from this feature, it can't gain them for another 24 hours. So that's fine. I mean, that's good.
Sure.
And Harvest Power, when you use Grim Harvest, which is a previous ability you had, the creature that gains temporary hit points, there's 2 temporary hit point boosts in this class, gains one of the following benefits of your choice. The target has advantage on attack rolls, and the target has advantage on the next saving throw it makes. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I think all of these are a very slight power upgrade to the 2014 editions. And you have to remember, some of these were really bad subclasses in 2014. And that brings us to the Transmuter Wizard, which was terrible in 2014 and is terrible now.
Oh, so I was hoping for some improvement.
Yeah, I would like to see the Transmuter be cool, but I just don't see it. They're really hung up on this Transmuter Stone effect that they have, which it's weird. The thing has like 3 or 4 effects, but one of them is a proficiency in Constitution saving throws, and I don't know why I would. If my options are that or Dark Vision 60 foot, right, I can tell you which one I'm picking.
It's a pretty clear choice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so clear I can see it without Dark Vision.
Yeah, so Wondrous Enhancement. It's just these minor effects that they have to boost others. I mean, it's buffing and debuffing, but man, it is just not a lot of wow there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they do eventually gain the ability to like raise dead with a stone, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty powerful.
But again, we're 14th level, so hopefully there's somebody else in the party that's been doing that for a while,
right,
and more effectively.
Yeah.
You can make someone appear 3D 10 years younger, which is cool, but that's kind of a role play thing.
And it's how much utility is that going to have?
Yeah.
Right? That's extremely circumstantial.
But I just, with all of these subclasses, I can tell you, there was nothing where I was like, boy, that sounds fun to play.
It's clear none of them really blew your socks off.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite amongst the bunch? And what's at the other end of that spectrum? What is your least favorite?
It's hard to say favorite because, again, the Ancestral Sorcerer is...
That's the one that
really
stood out
good.
to you as
Right, yeah. I mean,
maybe overpowered.
It's maybe a little overpowered, yeah. So As far as like what might be fun to play, again, I really think the Tattooed Monk surprised me, probably more than anything. Arcane Archer Revisited, I think they did okay. I mean, it is not that different from 2014. It's just better. It took it's probably what the 2014 should have been.
Should have been. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Because it was pretty forgettable. But as far as least favorite.
Yeah, which one of these is without a doubt never going to become official?
I literally got tired of reading Transmuter. And I just wanted to go lay down. I had to muscle through it. So, I mean, anybody who wants to play a Transmuter, more power to you. Maybe there's hidden potential there that I'm not seeing, but I just couldn't care at all. But it's an interesting mix. But again, it feels like some of these things were made in isolation compared to each other. Like you would think somebody would at least pass another, like, hey, what are you doing? Well, we're giving the monk crap. How about you? What are you guys doing? Oh, we're boosting the sorcerer to the moon. Well, that should balance out, And they always put that at the beginning. They always put that that little note there that says these will be balanced out before official release, and it's
more revisions to come if they become official.
It's really? Really? Are you going to though? Or
right.
I don't know. But feedback. So feedback ends July 17th?
July 17th is when the window closes.
I would encourage people to take a look at these if you haven't already, and give them some feedback, because I'm going to, and I might be wrong about everything. So at the very least, you can offset my vote.
Right.
So,
or if you'd like, you could just transcribe Chris's commentary and submit that. And if we get enough of that, the message is going to be clear.
I think they're going to reject that immediately. They're going to be like, this person has a mental problem. So.
Hey, I want to say thanks for the deep dive there, for breaking that all down for us who have not had a chance to take a closer look.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I need some hazard pay for this episode. So hook it up.
Invoice me. Hey, what are your thoughts on these subclasses or anything else that you heard on today's show? You can let us know. thievescantcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. You can also check us out online at Thieves Can't Cast on social, over on YouTube at Thieves Can't Podcast. You have any leftover fireworks to get home to? Maybe give that burning down the neighborhood another crack?
It's gone. There's no leftovers. No, we do it all on the 4th.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Launching stuff throughout the week.
Yeah, boy, I wish my neighbors would do it all on the 4th, and not the 2 weeks leading up to the 4th and the week following the 4th.
Precisely.
And then some random day in November.
I feel that's the obligation. I may burn your house down, but it'll be on the 4th. You know what day it'll be when the purge comes. Yeah, you'll know.
Hey, have a great week of gaming, a great week of life, and we will catch you next time. I'm Jeremy Shane.
And I'm Chris White.
It's been Thieves Can't. So long.
Thank you for listening to Thieves Can't. Email thievescantcast@gmail.com.